Hello, team. Welcome back. I mean, oh my gosh, you just wouldn't even believe the trouble I have had getting this recorded and getting this out the door. This is try number 4, which is why things have changed quite a bit between video corruption twice and then sound recording issues once. Uh, anyway, we're here now, which is a bit unfortunate because I had done a segment between then that you've just seen and now, which is where we are, and all of that is missing. So you're just going to have to deal with where we are now. Sorry, and here's where we are now. And where we are is we have a main road. We have a main circular road, the M25 of sorts that connects the whole of these towns together. I also have a name for this place. The name for this place is Alessandria. Thank you very much, Jimbo Triple XL. This is Alessandria, named after Alessandri, who was a famous Italian pirate. Thank you very much. So welcome to the region of Alessandria. So yes, so we have a road. So we had to do some things. We had to do some jiggery pokery. We got rid of the old road, which was slow and old and dreadful, and we replaced it with this lovely new road with these lovely new bridges. You can set the bridges. Stone bridges look nice, but have a limited speed, 90k. We have the iron bridge, which is 180. And you can do the suspension bridge, which sometimes comes up with suspension and sometimes does not. Doesn't really. Well, I mean, it kind of works here, but I kind of like the iron bridge. This one's an iron bridge as well. I think if you've changed this one to suspension, you get this thing, which is fine. It does seem a touch grandiose. So that's probably fine. Um, yeah, we did this lovely box tunnel, which is very nice. It turned out nice. I quite like it. Quite like the fact that we've got that lovely box tunnel there. I think that's it really. Yeah, look, it's bypass. It's bypass, so it bypasses all the towns. The towns have junctions that lead onto it, which is fine. They're all controlled by traffic lights, etc., etc. But we don't want congestion and emissions inside our growing little towns, stroke cities. And we've now connected Risso to Civitella. Um, Bit of a lengthy connection. We've got this lovely flat piece of land, but sneaks up through these ranges here, which actually it's turned out pretty good. There are roads like this where I live, so yeah, so that looks pretty natural, pretty much how a road would probably be designed. I've gone over here with this bridge, so if we want to change that, we can do that. That seems just doesn't quite work right, but we'll do that bridge, which will be fine. So that'll make the traffic flow a little bit quicker over there. Nice long straight roads up here, bypassing around and then heading off. Made this into a lovely little iron hump bridge. This worked well. This is the oil loop. So I've added in the oil loop, which you didn't see. You saw me do coffee, which is fine. And the coffee trains are now running and they're making me money, which is great. But you didn't see me do this. So this was part of the segment that's missing. And it just totally corrupted. Couldn't use it. Don't know why it happened. Don't know what the story is. Share Factory's weird. Capture was weird. I don't know. I haven't changed anything, so I don't know what's going on. Anyway, we now have these oil trains in, and these oil trains make a pocket load of money. 4 million. There's a second one floating around somewhere. He's over here. He's just started, so he's only maybe 1.86, but he's just started. So yes, so we've got this oil loop. Now, the thing about the oil loop is the train naturally wants to go out on the right. I wanted it to go on the left. If you put the signals down, that's fine. But as I've said to you before, the train ignores the signals that don't work for it. So there's every possibility the train would just ignore all the signals on the right and just head out on the right anyway. So the way that you solve that is with one of these, which is this white thing here. This is a waypoint. So this compels it to come down here. So as soon as I put this into the line, it has no other choice because there's no other place for it to change tracks. This is a single track all the way around, so it has to follow the loop that I have given it. If I had crossover points, I would need to have to continually be resetting waypoints just to make sure, because the trains kind of do their own thing. They always want to go out on the right, so you just kind of need to be aware of that. So there you go. So I did the main road, which is a big thing. It took a lot of time. It didn't actually require an awful lot of money, but it did take an awful lot of time. The tunnel and the bridges took a little bit of money, obviously, but most of the rest of it didn't take that much. And I tried to, stick to the contours as much as possible. Yes, obviously there's some banking and some cuts and some bits and pieces, but I did try and be honest, and not just waste the money. There's always going to be areas where you have a little bit of banking on one side or the other. This is what happens when you do major motorways. But by and large, I got a little thing here which is a little bit more. Can probably fix that. Probably doesn't need to be quite as bad as that. This cut looks fairly natural. This is the kind of thing that you would get. We're bypassing this industry. So anyway, and there was road through here anyway. So it's you're gonna get a little bit of banking and cutting and various other odds and sods, and try and keep the flow nice. There's a fairly steep one here, but again, that's not in the realms of impossibility for sure. Same with the train track. It's not in the realms of impossibility to have cuts like that in the real world. Um, this one required a little bit of thought actually, because it was quite a tricky one to get it up here. It required this long bank, which again, not within the realms of impossibility. This bridge is a bit overly long. I probably need to shorten it down a bit, but I'm conscious of the gradient. The issue with trains is gradient, gradient, gradient. But this could probably be better done with an earth embankment, um, because that's probably going to cost you less money than all this mass engineering. So this probably needs a little bit of a tweak from a realism perspective, but otherwise everything else is pretty hunky-dory. This bridge is fine, I think. Um, Again, you've got to get over. We've got to get over this rail track, and this is probably not too crazy in terms of the engineering that would be required for a road of this magnitude, and also to keep the gradient down. So yeah, so I think that's probably okay. So that's probably fine. So I did that. So I did coffee, I did oil, I did the road. I tweaked a little bit of the lines here and there, brought in some new vehicles. So like this train is now this little shunter thing. We'll have a look at what trains are available to us. I like this double entries thing. It's very authentic looking. It's very scary, but I have seen bridges like that. Not sure why this one has chosen to do that. That's fine. It is what it is. Anyway, so yeah, so I did some tweaking with trains and the locomotives that are pulling them. Um, the actual productivity on the lines seems to be quite dynamic, so you have to keep fiddling around with them. I think, anyway, maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm a perfectionist. Maybe you don't have to fiddle it around with them at all. And as long as they're making you enough money, you're happy. They're all making me money, which is fine. I just like to fiddle, I suppose. Um, yeah. So anyway, so we connected these all up, and we organized some of the bus routes around the place. So Civitella bus route, and we have here the separate line for the Rizzo Civitella bus, and I think it's no, I think it's this one, Santa Caesarea Civitella bus route. So I've pulled the long distance stops out and put them in different places. I think that's those two, and then the other bus route is mostly a kind of a circuitous kind of loop around Civitella, which is fine. In Santa Caesarea, a lot more bus routes. I basically split it into two, south side and north side, and this is Main Street, this is High Street, right down the middle, kind of, I guess. That's what I'm calling it anyway. So they're connected. Well, not connected, but they're near to each other. The one thing we don't have, I realize one thing we don't have is we don't have a bus hub of any description. we've got this kind of thing, which is the bus tram station. I suppose that's the closest thing that we have to having a bus hub, um, but it's not ideal. I might try and fiddle around with it a bit and see if I can make it work, but it's not the same as a train station. Like a station with a station building and everything else. We don't have. It's just kind of a car park where buses park. So yeah, we don't really have bus hubs, and there are none in the mods. So if anyone's watching that knows how to do these things, it would be really good if we could have, like a bus station. That would be very nice. I'd like a bus station. You could have multiple routes arriving and departing at the bus station. There's a novel idea, right? Anyway, Santa Caesarea, Castelvecchio. We got two routes. We got the one on the inside goes clockwise. The one on the outside goes counterclockwise, which is fine. And you'll see from the towns, I've done a bit of tweaking. I've put a lot of roads in myself with curves and things. I want to see what happens. I want to see what the game does with me adding in fake roads. Will it build the way I want it to build? Can I arrange and or organize and or in any way affect the growth of the little city? I put some grids in here, and it seems to be very easily filling these grids. It doesn't seem to have an issue. We've got more residents popping through, which is all great. So Zano's fine. I've got the little fuel trucks. I've got these little fuel trucks here, which look groovy and very appropriate for the era. Toot toot. Um, just two of them, and that's ample. This place doesn't produce a lot currently. We're shipping it as kind of quickly as it comes out. To be fair, there's not a lot left behind, so we are shipping it relatively well. And there's not a lot left here. What is there here? There is 52 there. This train is just about to come back, and this train holds 84. So by the time he gets back here, there'll probably not be much more than 100. He probably needs a little bit of a tweak. He needs a little bit more added to him, and he can pick up some more and drop off some more, but that's otherwise fine. Some of the other things are fine, etc., etc. The current vehicle lists that are available. Um, all the usual. This is the kind of the standard vanilla stuff, which is great. Down here at the bottom, I've got a couple of mods. I've got this little Volvo mod I've been using. I just think it looks lovely. It's great. It does 60 kilometers an hour, so it's faster than the vanilla game stuff. Sorry about that. And it looks good. Carries lots of things that look good. You've got all these different variants that you could use, which is great. And we've got this Alfa Romeo passenger bus, which again looks really good, looks authentic, goes faster, 60 kilometers an hour, carries more people, which is really good. Really love it. I've transferred most of my bus lines over to the Alfa Romeo buses, and this is the vanilla game stuff. So the vanilla game cargo wagons still go at 60, which is fine. So that's all well and good. That's what we have there. In terms of the trains that are currently available in the 1940s, we're starting to get in these larger passenger trains which go quicker, which is fine. I haven't done any passenger lines yet, but I'm thinking of doing some tester ones just to see what happens. I think it will help the growth of the cities, but I think I need to do it carefully. In terms of the main locos, we're still very much reliant on steel. We've got this monstrous electric thing which costs 12 million, has massive power output, does 120 kilometers an hour, etc., etc. But with the cargo, this is the best cargo I've got. It only does 80. So there's no point in my mind forking out for something like this monstrosity, which is capable of doing 120, when I'm only going to be able to drive it along at 80 anyway because of the cargo it's pulling. So in terms of cargo, we're just not there yet in terms of speed. So I'm pretty much using the 10 wheeler. It's the cheapest one. It's going to no longer be available in about 6 years, but hopefully there'll be more diesel locos come through, and also some more wagons come through. I must do some more searching on the mod store for wagons that will go faster. Um, Although, to be fair, cargo trains don't generally go that fast because of the weight anyway. So I don't know, 80 kilometers an hour. I'm trying to remember. Is 80 kilometers an hour as fast as you can possibly get? I don't think it is. I'm pretty sure I had wagons going a lot faster than that. I'm pretty sure there must be wagons that go faster than 80 kilometers an hour. I've got this thing. Look at this thing. I think this is a mod, Pioneer Zephyr. Um, Gosh, look at it. 177 kilometers an hour. Blimey. I tell you what, I don't think we'll get one of those. Maybe. You never know. Maybe you never know. So we're still kind of boxing on with what we've got. Not a lot has changed in terms of that. In terms of boats, nothing to change really. This is all well and good. This is large, one small passenger, one small cargo. So I'm just relying on the Schaffhausen really until something else comes along. Maybe something else will come along. I don't really know. And obviously we can build airports, and I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about an airport between Uzano and Santa Caesarea. So it'll just be a passenger airport, though I'm not going to move cargo. So there's things to do. So there's a couple of things I want to do, and what I want to do is I want to get fish over here to this industry before it disappears. So I want to start putting the fish across here. Um, and I want to get the coffee up here. I want to feel like I'm getting towards filling this out. I've got to balance all these public transport lines. I think I want to try a passenger train line from Castel Vecchio to Uzano. Um, and it's going to be tricky getting it through that gap. Um, I think I want to get it through the gap. But I think it's going to be tricky, expensive, tricky. I'll have a think about that one, but I do think I want to get a train line through there. Um, and in terms of investment for the future, it would be quicker if I could get it through that gap than have it go around the top or down past these ranges, because I don't think that's gonna. It's got this little bowl in the middle. Have a little park in there. Anyway, um, yeah. So I think I want to try a little passenger train route through there, and like I said, I might even go as far as trying a little passenger airport out to somewhere here, like Santa Caesarea or something like that. Balance, 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 replace, maintain, repair, all of that kind of jazz. All of that probably needs to happen and does need to happen. Now, the other thing that I'm proposing to you is after the war, post 1945 is going to be like a big development era, right? It was in the real world. There's no reason it can't be here on my map of. Did I tell you the name Alessandria? Did I tell you that? I'm sure I told you that. I've done this so many times I've forgotten what I've said now. It's just I'm so confused. I'll have to do it in post editing. Um, anyway, what I'm proposing, because I have this industry thing, is I can't. One thing I can't do is I can't delete industries. The game doesn't give me an option anywhere to delete the industry. I can delete the road connections to it, but I can't actually delete the industry itself, which is a bit of a shame. But what I'm proposing is, if there is a redundant industry, the town council, the mayor, and the business community has gotten together and said, we want a particular kind of industry out here instead of this one. So what I will do is I'll say, well, okay, well, we'll put an industry next to it, right? So we'll put an industry next to a redundant industry, and eventually, hopefully, that redundant industry disappears. So in this case, it could be a farm. I don't know how productive these things are. It's all a bit of a trial, a bit of a mess about. They are expensive, 25 million. So I don't exactly know how much it's going to produce. Um, that would probably not be the best way to do it, because that would probably significantly hamper me in terms of trying to build a train station, but I could definitely sort of fudge it like that and connect the road properly and do bits and pieces. It would still cost me 25 million. So keeping it real and sort of saying, well, the investors got together and wanted to take over the old timber mill, paper mill plant and make it a farm instead, and that's what happened. And or maybe as the game progresses and it decides that it's eventually going to delete this, we sort of say, well, hey, if it's going to delete this, that's fine. Um, the the people over at, well, I don't know, Rizzo have decided that they want tools, not steel. So they then decide that they want a steel a tool factory out there or something, because the nearest one's like way up here, and they might work on that or something. I don't know. Just a thought. Look, I want this to be a slightly more involved map. I want this to be a long map. I want us to develop the map and grow the map and grow the towns and see what happens and have lots of stuff flowing around all over the place and make the region of Alessandria, something special. So, yeah, so that's where we are. I'm terribly sorry that this has come out the kind of disjointed, higgledy-piggledy video that it is. It's It's been one of the toughest to get out. It's just been fraught with so many problems. But I needed to get this out, and so that I can explain to you where we are going from here. So I hope it kind of makes sense. I hope you're enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I hope you like it. I like it. If you do, click the like button. Please subscribe to the channel. Please click that bell notification so you know when the next, hopefully better quality video will be coming out. Feel free to drop a line in a comment, ask any questions, any tips, tricks, or suggestions of your own. And I will see you all again real soon. Ta-ta for now.